Dear Kingfisher vendors, thanks for coming to today's seminar on Kingfisher BOM BOS calibration project. My name is Charles and I'm from Eurofins. Eurofins have been appointed as the consultancy of the whole project. So today I'm gonna give you a brief introduction about the project, what should be done by your side and how to do it. BOM, as we all know, is short for Bill of Material. It presents us the whole picture of product structure and can tell us what material is contained and how the components and the materials are organized in the product. A qualified BOM is the decisive factor of the whole project. After receiving a qualified BOM from your side, our expert team will conduct a risk assessment to find if there is any risk regulation restricted substance like SHC. And besides, we will also generate you a likely BOS, which will be used in the next QMT application. In general, the more detailed product data you provide us, the more accurate BOS and the assessment result will come out. Today's seminar could be divided into 4 parts. The first one is regulatory background introduction, and then is a showcase of BOM template. And the third is how to prepare out a qualified BOM. And the last is how to get help from Eurofins. In the first place, let's take a look at the very most important EU chemical regulation, REACH regulation. As you may know, REACH requires all the substance mixtures should be registered before it can be placed on the EU market. However, this only applies to substance itself or substance in mixture. So you may ask, what about the substance in article? Article is actually a regulatory term sharing the same meaning of product. REACH requires a notification of substance in article when following 2 conditions are both met. Please pay special attention to the word both. One of them is SHC contained in product's component is about a concentration of 0.1% weight by weight. The other is the total amount of that SHC exceeds 1 ton per year. SHC is a group of substances having adverse effects on human health and the environment. It is updated twice a year and now contains about 180 hazardous substances. Besides notification, even if the total amount of SHC does not exceed 1 ton per year, as long as it is about a concentration of 0.1% weight by weight, suppliers have to provide enough information to allow the safe use of the article to the recipient. This is the main reason why Kingfisher Group want to conduct this BOM-BOS project. This BOM-BOS project could help both Kingfisher and your vendors to better understand your products in a substance level, to understand and find if any SHC or the other kind of hazardous substance would have a possibility to exist in your product, and if any risk found, what to do for next. For more, it can also help us to respond effectively to the inquiries and the inspections from government, NGOs, and even general consumers. The traditional way to deal with SHC in product is sending some sample to lab. Undoubtedly, the testing is an effective way to justify compliance, but it is never a right way to manage and control the use and the existence of certain chemical in your product. The more number of SHC is included in the candidate list, the more costs you need to afford for the testing. Additionally, you have to keep those test reports up to date since SHC list is, just as I say, will be renewed twice a year. For more, in the year of 2015, EU Court of Justice has delivered a much anticipated decision on the interpretation of article on the REACH regulation. The presence of substance of very high concern in articles must be calculated for each component and not for the entire product. Take this into consideration. We actually will have no chance to test our product within both an affordable price and a required position. So what should we do to this embarrassment? Some buyers tend to collect compliance declaration from suppliers, Some others prefer to launch a questionnaire project along the supply chain. However, these two ways are both lacking of enough support material to justify the declaration committed by their suppliers. Kingfisher recommends the way of full substance declaration, or you can call it full material disclosure, which is a common term used in EEE industry when talking about hazardous substance free. Full substance declaration is to build Kingfisher a huge product composition database. We have already conducted several pilot projects in the past few years, and we understand that vendors can hardly provide a detailed BOS to disclose every single substance in the product. So now, only a table containing the product structure and the material description is required from vendors. We call that Excel file as standard BOM. In that standard BOM, material description must indicate its main content, so that Eurofins can make a brief safety assessment to decide if there is any risk should be paid attention to. And now let's have a look at the standard BOM. It consists of 4 parts: basic information area, BOM, construction area, Kingfisher specific investigation, and SHC declaration. Before we go through each part, I would like to remind you that all the fields in this table need to be filled with English character and numbers. Okay, the first part, the basic information area, is for us to check the identification for both vendor and product. Some information from this area will appear in our assessment report, so it is crucial for you to make sure that for example, the net weight of our product here is right and consistent with the sum of below table. Basic information contains product name, product number, and this product number will often be referred to as Unified Offer Range Line Number, or the EAN number. And vendor's name and vendor's address. Vendor here means the one who has a trade relationship directly with Kingfisher, not the factories or the manufacturers. NPD office means the Kingfisher office who communicates with you in a daily business, completed by email and telephone. Point at who from vendor side is responsible for the information input. KSO QA means the key person from Kingfisher for your business. And for the second is component construction area. In this area, you should present us a clear picture about your product and describe your material in a proper manner for us to be able to understand if there is any risk. Please remember that each line should be filled for either component or material. That is to say, the lines in this table can be differentiated from component line or material line. The leftmost column you should fill is level. Level represents the parent-child relationship between component and subcomponent or material. For instance, component level 1 consists of component level 2. Component level 2 consists of material level 3. In the component name column, please avoid the same name for different components. For example, if possible, indicate the difference in their name, such as screw M5 multiply 24 and screw M5 multiply 40. Unit weight means piece weight of this component, and the amount is the number of components contained in its parent level plot. Material name is a basic introduction, and the material description requires much more explicit information about this material. This is the most important field in this table because all of our risk assessment is based on it. You should input as much and accurate information for the material as you can to indicate the components, to indicate the composition of material. At least you should declare the main content of material here. And in finishing column, you are required to indicate what kind of finishing has been applied on the surface of material. And if it is zinc plating, you should tell us the exact ink plating application. For example, a clear ink or a colored ink. This page is an explanation on material type. I have 5 points to say. The first, material type of finishing means any surface treatment applied on the material that you can measure its weight. If you cannot tell the weight when it's really a tiny figure, you don't need to declare the finishing as a separate material. Instead, you would only need to describe it on its parent material information line in the finishing column. And the second, biocide means any chemicals used for biocidal treatment to your product. If the biocide has been already applied on some material, please do not declare it on this area, but on the treated material finishing column. The third, preparation mixtures means any chemical mixtures without a fixed shape, sometimes are liquid or hold in a container. If you think there was no appropriate material type for you to choose, please select the other material option. And the last one, if you don't choose any material type, we will appoint this undefined type for your material. Please remember this may trigger an uncomprehensive assessment afterwards, because some of our assessment and exemption decision are based on material type. I have also some important hints summarized from former project. Besides, all fields should be filled in English character, and all weights are the unit weight of a single component or a single material. The third one is all PVCs are considered as risk material. If you have got any test report, please tell us. The fourth, please give more information about zinc plating. They are clear or they are colored. The fifth, please indicate the rubber category. For example, is that a natural rubber or NBR rubber? The sixth, please provide SDS for the chemicals incorporated in products. For example, the balance oil in a balance ruler. The last one, the packaging should be declared if it is designed to be kept after first use, such as balloon, plastic box. And next is a part of a questionnaire where you should give us a yes or no answer to show us if any listed ingredient is contained in the material. Please remember this area is only for material and do not fill in a component line. The last part is an option area for you to declare if there is any SVHC you know that exists in your product. You should tell us about its identification and concentration. Okay, now we have known about what is to be done regarding the BOM and BOS project. And next, let's go to see how to do that. In general, as a Kingfisher vendor, we actually have a Kingfisher product specification in hand, which is a very good guide for us to generate the qualified BOM. The material appearance part in that product specification will help you well enough to understand your product structure, and you should fill in our standard BOM according to information from there. If you are a new Kingfisher vendor and do not have any product specification, you should go and ask your engineering department or your factory for a product BOM. Having a product BOM in hand, we could process this work into the next step, which is to check the completeness and accuracy of the original BOM. We need to ask ourselves 2 questions in the first place. The first one is, do I present the product in a homogeneous material level? Is there any component could be further dismantled? A homogeneous material is normally consisted of just one kind of material. And the second question is, do I describe the material in a recognizable manner? Product assembly and material description are 2 key points of the BOM preparation. Following are some examples component assembly. The very first one is a PCB containing a PCB board and some E-components. For this kind of parts, you need only to tell us if the PCB board contains lead or not, and its weight, and how many and what kind of those E-components are and their weights. You can find a BOM example on our project portal website. The second is a model. As we all know that vendors rarely produce a model by themselves. A model is always an outsourcing part supplied by a sub-tier supplier. So collecting information from a second-tier supplier is another important point for a complex product. An example BOM of the model is also listed on our portal. The last example is a power code. It shows a very completed and accurate way to declare what material is contained in it. And you can also find how the materials are described in this example BOM on our portal. As I just said, there is a project portal, and you may just want to know how to access it. Here is the URL. You can find any documents related to this BOM BOS project. For example, a workflow introduction. And besides, you can also leave a message here to notify us if there is any emergency. And last but not least, you can contact us from 3 offices. 2 of them are located in China and 1 in Europe. Please feel free to email and call us. Thanks very much.